Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and I'm back for another video discussing The Last of Us. At long last, we have finally gotten the official release date and a lot more information on The Last of Us HBO Season 2. It is a very, very exciting time to be a fan, as we've got a lot coming on the horizon, with April in particular being a significant month. As we now know, The Last of Us Part 2 is coming to PC on the 3rd of April, and I will be playing that for you guys day one. Very, very excited. Leading up to that, expect some permadeath and a lot more stuff as we get ready for it, probably around the midpoint of March. So I'm excited to get prepped up and ready for that. We got new posters, we got more information on this, and we got the official release date. I'm going to go through everything you need to know about The Last of Us HBO Season 2 as we approach its release date, which we'll be discussing, because again, before this video had been made, we had a date in the April range. Now we've got an official date. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy this for more content covering The Last of Us. Hit the notification bell, have it set to all, and join over the 100,000 people that have all notifications turned on for the channel, and over the near 50% of people that are subscribed by hitting the subscribe button. This is my video covering The Last of Us 3 and some little initial rumblings we've heard on that. Go check that out, link in the description or the card in the top right. And if we can go for 1,500 likes on this video, I greatly would appreciate it. Let's get straight into it. The official Max account tweeted 3 posters of the 3 main characters that we're going to be seeing in The Last of Us HBO Season 2. The first one being Pedro Pascal as Joel, but also a big surprise. The official release date is April 13th, which is the second Sunday in April, and at the time I am recording this video and posting it, 46 days away from the official release. In this image, we get to see a new look at Pedro Pascal as Joel. Again, I'm not going to discuss any spoilers. Trust me, no spoilers will be discussed with people that have not watched this. But I want to take note of a couple things here. We got the classic Last of Us 2 Joel jacket on. Pedro's got a sniper on the back. And his watch, his iconic watch that you remember from the first season, the one that Sarah gave to him as a gift, is shown there with a bunch of fungus around it. And the quote that is stated here is, "Every path has a price." Which, in essence, if you know the story of this game and how this will be depicted in the show, you know that decisions have consequences. Without spoiling, if you know, there will be consequences to every decision that has been made up to this point. Our second image showcases Bella Ramsey as Ellie with the same quote, "Every path has a price." Now, a cool little thing I've taken note of is that you notice how Bella, Ellie, and the character I'll show next are both looking left, and Pedro's Joel is looking right. I think there's some symbolism and some definite hinting with that, for sure, as we get to see Ellie with the guitar. The guitar is her symbol, as Joel's character had the watch, Ellie has the guitar, and you know the guitar is a very symbolic item of Ellie in this. If you played the games, you know exactly why. And she's holding her switchblade in one hand and a shotgun in the other. With a new haircut, longer haircut, more representing, looks like Tess from the show. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to be doing with Bella's character, because I believe this will mainly be covering Bella. Bella will be taking the reins really with this season. And our final character, we get to see Caitlin Dever as Abby. With, again, they have changed her look in this. She is not going to be a buff powerhouse tank. She is going to be more of a, not as muscular, but intimidating character in other regards. Caitlin brings a lot to the acting front, so you're definitely going to see that. Now, I don't expect a Laura Bailey performance, because Laura Bailey is one of one, but I'm expecting something pretty good. And I like that they're kind of changing it up. And I'll explain why they're not making her buff. There was actually some reason in the recent article they talked about it. So And she is holding a pistol with a holster, and her symbol is a firefly tag, symbolizing firefly heritage. And I won't explain, the other itsy-bitsy pieces of it because without spoiling, but yes. And just like Ellie, she's looking the same way, just at Joel. And you're going to know why very, very soon, why that is happening. But 3 amazing posters and an official release date of April 13th. Very, very excited for that. Now, what I've shown there is something significant. This is from the official Last of Us Twitter, and they tweeted, "See you in Austin, Texas, where it all began. Don't miss the 2025 SSXW panel, Saturday, March 8th. Hashtag The Last of Us." This is a massive panel. I believe they did one before Season 1, and I expect in this panel, we will get the official trailer, the major trailer that usually drops a month prior, because the last trailer we got was not really a major trailer. It was more a minor trailer that gave us, the release window and stuff and some new looks at it. But this is going to be the 2-3 minute trailer, the big one, with a panel consisting of Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, Caitlin Dever, Gabriel Luna, Isabella Merced, Young Mazzino, Craig Mazin, and the Last of Us creator himself, Neil Druckmann. So, very, very excited. We've got Joel, we've got Ellie, we got Abby, we got Tommy, we've got Dina, we've got Jesse, and the 2 heads all in one big panel. So I expect a lot of information and stuff to come out on that day. And we might even stream it. If there's a way, if it's streamable, I will stream it. March 8th, Saturday. Keep an eye on that, okay? That's almost a week away. So some other information we got about the premiere via IGN in their new article. The Last of Us will air on that Sunday, April 13th at 9 p.m. EST. So you guys know what's coming. The watch party is coming. Whether I get invited to an early premiere or not, we're still gonna watch this together. Whether I know what's gonna happen prior or I don't get invited and we get to watch it for the first time live together. Be sure to be here April 13th. It's gonna be a roller coaster. I expect a long ass episode. Probably gonna be an hour 30. We don't know the length yet, but we should find that out in the coming weeks. 7 episodes every week. So prepare. And the description is, set 5 years after the events of the first season, The Last of Us Season 2 will pick up Joel and Ellie, who are living it with Joel's brother Tommy on their commune in Montana. The next season will adapt the second game in the series, The Last of Us Part 2, so players should be familiar with what is about to unfold. And again, it has been confirmed The Last of Us HBO will be covering the Part 2 storyline in multiple seasons. 2, maybe even 3, potentially. And in what I just talked about in my most recent Last of Us Part 3 video, HBO stressed and pretty much revealed that it does look like The Last of Us HBO will only go 4 seasons. But again, I don't believe that because they got to fit in Part 3. I believe Part 3 is going to be adapted as well. On one caveat, if Part 3 is only 1 season, so let's say they do Part 2 for 2 and 3, end it after Season 3, and then do Part 3 in one big Season 4 around 2030-ish, probably, then I could see that maybe happening. And she said, I wouldn't want to confirm that, but it's looking like this season and then 2 after, and then we're done. As for what I expect with the highly anticipated show that returns in April 2025, there's certain elements in terms of various factions that are competing for survival that reveal themselves as a really intriguing survivalist group. I think they just have a quality to them that feels distinct in how they present it. Again, either probably talking about the Seraphites or the Seraphites or the WLF. Probably the Seraphites, I'll be honest, because it's they. There's a certain way the show is presenting them in wardrobe and makeup that feels really different than the average person. Probably going to be the Seraphites based on reading this, but we'll see. So this is via Entertainment, EW. The Last of Us Season 2 packs quite a wallop. Creators set the stage for high-calorie, dense episode. So certain memories stick with Neil Druckmann, a creator on The Last of Us, from when he was making the second installment of the acclaimed video games. He remembers his showrunning partner Craig Mazin popping over to Naughty Dog headquarters in San Montana to brainstorm not only Season 1, but Season 2 of the HBO series, while Druckmann's team of devs worked diligently to meet their deadlines on 2020's The Last of Us Part 2. We'd be talking about Game 2, and in fact, there's a lot of changes, sometimes small adjustments, sometimes bigger, that we're making in the adaptation, that we're making in anticipation of adapting Game 2. So even before Game 2 was out, we were deep in conversation about where the characters are going and ultimately what we're trying to thematically say with this whole story. But in addition to those brainstorms, Druckmann remembers a particularly fraught time in 2020, not only when his team was working through the global pandemic, which forced a delay in the game's release. There were leaks that spoiled massive plot points of the story. Toxic reactions and even death threats against the creators and actors followed. The response wasn't so much to the story choices themselves, it was that they were received out of context, prompting the gamer community to make their own assumptions and judgments. Some of the stuff was borderline traumatic, Druckmann admits, reflecting on that response nearly 5 years later. Can't believe it's been 5 years, man. What the hell? As he and Mazin are about to present the game's story to a new kind of audience. It happened in the beginning of COVID, so there were a lot of very negative things all happening at once. You can't help but think about it now. It's one of those stories that will forever be stuck with me, but our brand is that we pander to no one. We do what's best for the story, and whatever happens, happens. There's a very particular story we wanted to tell, and we stuck to our guns. Audiences will know to have intense reactions to the events of Season 2, but it's difficult to prepare to talk about the story. Nearly everything could be considered spoiler for context. When Naughty released trailers and promote Part 2 video game, the studio edited out characters from certain scenes. Yeah, I know what their exact trailer they're talking about, to receive the surprises. They're not quite doing that this time around, but every scene that appears in the teaser for Season 2 was surgically carved out, and a lot of it has to do with the new character named Abby. We know that character very well here. Season 2 picks up 5 years after the events of Season 1, which chronicled Joel and Ellie's trek across post-apocalyptic pandemic-scarred America. They are settled in Jackson, Wyoming, commune run by Joel's sister-in-law, Maria, who now has a child. So yes, one of the major changes, if you paid attention to Season 1, is now that Tommy has a child. So definitely going to bring a new element to his character now, especially when he ends up leaving. Ellie's for once enjoying a normal life as a teenager. She even has a crush on a girl named Dina, who happens to be an ex of her close friend, Jesse. However, there remains tension between her and Joel, who's still grappling with the actions he took to save Ellie's life on that cold Firefly hospital bed in the Season 1 finale. It's during this time of relative peace when Abby arrives. Details on Abby are intentionally left vague, but she is described by HBO pressers as a skilled soldier whose black and white view of the world is challenged as she seeks vengeance for those she loved. And one big clue came up in a previous show, which featured a Firefly pennant dangling from her neck. So, a couple images I want to go through here. Got an image of Joel here when he's talking to the therapist, played by Catherine O'Hara. And then we've got Jesse and Ellie at the winter dance. And this is Tommy and Maria with their new child. Woo! I don't know what the name of the child is yet, but that is their new child. And then we've got Abby's group. So we've got Abby here, Owen, Mel, Nora, and Manny. Now, Nora, Tati Gabrielle, who's going to be our main protagonist of Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophets. So a little connection there. Naughty Dog's new IP that's coming out. We've got Danny Ramirez as Manny, Ariel Barrera as Mel, Caitlin Dever as Abby, and Spencer Lord as Owen. And as you know, the storylines for Ellie and Abby are so intertwined in the games that the casting of Caitlin Dever as the latter now feels poetic. Years prior to the HBO series, as Druckmann recalls, Screen Gems originally hoped to turn The Last of Us into a movie, though it never quite came together. They assembled a trove of actors, and among them was a young Dever, who read for the role for Ellie. We just remained in touch. Druckmann says, I believe Craig had the idea of using Caitlin for Abby when we talked about Season 2. The reason we cast Caitlin is because she's an incredible actor. You look at her body of work and the way she throws herself at that stuff, we value performance over anything else. One of the biggest differences from the game, which fans will no doubt point out, is Abby's physique. Game Abby, originally voiced and acted through performance captured by Laura Bailey, is a towering, muscled woman, while Dever's Abby is in closer appearance to Ramsey's Ellie. In the spirit of getting ahead of any fan comments, Druckmann has a few thoughts on the subject. From a story standpoint, there are a few different priorities for the show. Druckmann notes, while the game saw Abby maneuver like Joel in the way she can physically manhandle certain things, that element doesn't play as big of a role in this version. There's not as much violent action moment to moment, he says. It's more about the drama. I'm not saying there's no action here. It's just, again, different priorities and how you approach it. More importantly, Caitlin has the spirit in the game in her. He continues, what I always loved about the idea was that you were going to continually be challenged as you were in Season 1. When you try to pick a hero, it's tough because we're human beings. We're not heroes. For every heroic act, there's someone who suffers on the other side who may see you reasonably as a villain. When you look at Caitlin, there's just something in her eyes where even no matter what she's experiencing, you connect. It was important that we found somebody that we could connect to the way we connect with Bella. So for Bella, they got Caitlin. Mason adds, I personally think that there is an amazing opportunity here to delve into someone who is perhaps physically more vulnerable than the Abby in the game, but whose spirit is stronger. And then the question is, where does her formidable nature come from, and how does it manifest? That's something will be explored now and later. So then, going back to the multiple seasons thing, Season 2 is indeed just the beginning. Mason and Druckmann previously revealed their plans to adapt the events of Part 2 across multiple seasons. While HBO has not officially greenlit a third outing just yet, conversations have been had. I think it's pretty likely that our story will extend past a Season 3. Mason says how far past, I can't say. Now, this is before that thing I just talked about earlier in the video about it being likely 4 seasons. So that's what they're likely planning. And Druckmann says, we have a plan. We know what we need to do going forward, but we couldn't tell you right now how many episodes or many seasons it's going to take to get there. Because again, 4 is not even confirmed. It's just very likely going to be the fact. Mason said, each episode's like a meal. You can have a light dinner, or you can go into a 12-course French restaurant. We have 7 episodes, high-calorie, dense episodes. If you consider action, drama, and scope to be the things that create an epic nature, each one of these episodes packs quite a wallop. You will not be bored. This includes the incorporation of deleted material once considered for the game, some of which was presented for the first time in the Lost Levels in the Remastered Edition. And Druckmann teases that particular material is pretty brutal, but I'm very excited for people to see it. And there's also a prominent character that's talked about a lot in the game, similar to what we did with Frank in Season 1 that is in this season. And I believe this likely is going to be the Seraphite Prophet. We'll just have to wait and see on that. It's a very, very cool casting I hope we could talk about soon. At the very least, we're certainly going to mess around with time the way it was in the source material, but as Neil said, we messed around in ways that we felt were appropriate for the show. When I say messed around, I mean scientifically determined in a narrative way what we thought would be most impactful. I will just say that we gave a lot of thought and tried different things. There are some deviations of where we place things, so prepare for deviations, differences, and all that. So a lot to take in there. A lot of stuff is on the way. 7 high-calorie, dense episodes are on our doorstep. I can't wait for April so much, guys. There's a lot on the way, but that's going to do it for me, and that's everything on our coverage here, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you guys did enjoy this. Let me know what you're most excited for with Season 2 of the show, and I look forward to seeing you all next month for plenty of Last of Us content with the PC port and the show quickly approaching. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Let's go over 1,500 likes on this video again. And peace and love, and have a great day. Bye-bye.